What's good, YouTube? We're back with another video. So today I'm gonna show you 3 techniques I use in pretty much all my samples. So yeah, first off, we're gonna cook up a sample and I'm gonna walk you through and break down like processing chains, how I process my guitars, how you can apply this to your own samples, even if you don't make guitar samples. So yeah, it's gonna be a pretty interesting video. Let's just get into it. Okay, the first thing is when you have your melody, you need to have a call and a response. So as you can hear in this melody, we have, that's like the call, the question, and then we have, in this part, we have the response. And it repeats. That's how you create catchy melodies. Now, the second important thing is having pockets. So what that means is you have little spaces where you can put some additional sounds, one-shots, textures, and so on. Essentially, you just want it as a support for the main melody, for the main call and response, but sitting in the background. I'm gonna show you what I mean by this. If you listen, here we have a pocket. And here as well. Okay, as you can see now, I've added it. Of course, we put it in key. And now you can see how the melody, the one shot fills the whole pocket. Yeah. So when you stack a lot of these one shots, accents, textures, it just gives a very nice full sample. So let's just add a few more. Okay, so sample mixing. The way I mix my samples is take all the layers, route them to a mixing bus. The reason behind this is when you have different sounds, you want them to all sound consistent and blend together. If you just go and adjust different effects on different mixer tracks, it's still gonna sound okay, but it's not gonna have this consistent processing. When you're making a sample, you wanna have everything sit in one space, in one room. And using the same effects and the same processing on everything helps blend in the sounds better. Another thing to consider is when you're thinking about a sample, you want to be thinking of a space, of a place where the sample is taking place. What I mean by that is you want to have different instruments and different layers coming from different directions. And if you just put one stereo shaper without adjusting the individual panning, you won't have the direction. You won't be able to tell which direction which instrument is coming from. So what I do is I just individually adjust the direction of the layers. That way, when you listen to a sample, it sounds like you have different guitars playing in different directions. Now, as far as processing, the way I do it is very simple. A noise suppressor, I have a little EQ. Reverb, it's very subtle. Then I have a delay, which is also very subtle. Stereo shaper, again, nothing too crazy. And a pitch wheel, that's pretty much it. With effects. And without effects. So you can see how much of a difference it actually makes, even though it's very subtle, simple plugin effects. As I said, the key factor is having a consistent chain of processing so it creates this whole big space. Okay, now another sample technique I use so much, pretty much in every single sample I ever made, is adding an ambience layer. What it does is it just adds additional depth to the sample. So most people would usually reach for a pad or use another soft sound to add some support to the main melody. But what I do is I just take out the whole melody, I render it out, and after that I just run it through my own custom-made processing chain, which turns the whole melody into an ambience layer. So I'm gonna show you the first part, which is called Bone Crush. We have Pitch Wheel, pitches it an octave mid-side to make it a little bit wider, Lossy to degrade the sample, some EQ, and Primal Tab Delay, as well as reverb. It takes it from this to this. Now for the second part, I take this Ambience 2 preset. Now here I have a compressor, an EQ, a Valhalla plate, a vintage reverb, shaper box to add reverse, pitch wheel. Now here I take the whole sample an octave down, another EQ, and pancake to make the layer move around from this into this. Pretty much a perfect ambient layer, which then I just layer back with the main melody, and it always works because essentially it's just the same melody. Let's just make a quick comparison how it sounds with no one shots, with no ambience, with nothing. It's still good. It's still a nice guitar playing, but you just can't compare it.